Hi, it has snowed in Wales. I can't believe it. It's actually snowed in Wales today. Never mind. In this video, the moon's in Pisces. She's on her way into Aries. And today, Wednesday, the 3rd of April, 2019, Mars is going to sextile Chiron. And that is such good news. It really is. Now then, many of us, as we live in this rather crazy world that we're in at the moment, get all kinds of sort of wounded feelings all the time, and you have to kind of be big about it and just brush it off because it's kind of hard old world these days. This ain't Kansas. That's the general thrust of what we're all being told by the media and people who control or think they control the world. But the bottom line is happiness is there. If we choose it, it's a choice, and we need to kind of choose peace along the way to do that as well. And a great way to find peace is when we're in a healing situation. Today is a great healing situation because, as I keep saying, Mars is going to sextile Chiron a little bit later today. At the moment, Mars is square Neptune, so things aren't that straightforward. But as we move through the day, we're going to get that beautiful healing alignment. Chiron, the planet, its main astrological characteristic is that we regard it as the wounded healer. People who try to give love out into the world, people who try to give light out into the world, but generally get stood on. And goodness, I'm kind of preaching to the converted, really, because if you're watching that video, you are almost certainly not that kind of person. And I don't know anybody who I've met on YouTube or Facebook or anyone else who is that kind of person. But every time I put the media on, there's something there trying to make out that the world is pretty bad. And it's all our fault. It's nothing to do with kind of political leaders or anything. It's our fault for suddenly going on the internet all the time and being lazy. Well, just don't have any of that, folks. It's an absolute con. It's an absolute illusion. The moon is about to enter Aries, and that's not actually until much later tonight in the States and Canada, and tomorrow early in the morning here in UK. And let me see, that's actually going to be 3:56 a.m. in UK, meaning 7:56 p.m. on the Pacific coast, 10:56 p.m. on the eastern coast. And that Aries moon sets the scene for the new moon, which isn't coming till Friday, so I'll get to that when we get to that. But things are coming to a lull in terms of moon energy, and in terms of having a lot of kind of cosmic support behind manifestation, alchemy, anything you're trying to do. And alchemy is a big word, isn't it? But that is really what this is all about. Looking at astrology, looking at the thoughts, the inspiration that come into our own mind and being able to act on it. Turning an idea into an actual object is alchemy in a lot of ways, because the thing doesn't exist. You see it in your mind and then you can do it. I tend to think of that as being around making things, because I make things. But whatever you're doing, whether you're making videos like this, whether you're going to work in a shop, whatever you're going to actually do in terms of work and getting things done today, bear in mind that alchemy is part of taking an idea from your mind and making it real. We don't have to make a kind of gold out of whatever mud, anything like that. I'm not going to pour scorn on that, because there's so much evidence that the ancients could do it. But it's something that seems to have been lost from our world, our culture as it is. And, cultures are different everywhere in the world. But that absolute belief, particularly in the West, has really been lost. And it's a great pity, because it is a real thing. And when you start following the spiritual path and talking to people about their spirituality, you realise it's going on all the time. I'm not even going to say it's going on kind of in the background all the time, because it's in the forefront. It's real life. You can actually make things happen. You can visualise. We actually are creating our own reality all the time. And it's worth hanging on to that thought, because all around us are influences trying to tell us that none of this is real, none of this matters. I'm not having any of that. Let's have a look at the general rundown of things, the state of play, as it were, in the heavens. As I say, Mercury is actually still square Neptune. Mars is still square Neptune at the moment. So that's not really going anywhere until Mars enters Chiron. But that's the next thing to happen. We'll be feeling the kind of beginnings of that starting to happen as we go into today. Sun square Saturn. Leaders may face setbacks and challenges. It's been the case for quite a long time. You don't need me to say anything more about that. The moon is sextile Pluto. So do be open to change. Do be open to rearrangement. And that is so important in terms of being positive and getting the most out of the Mars Sextile Chiron thing, which is really going to be, it's going to make a difference, a real good difference. Let go of your inhibitions and, go with the energy of the moment, because it seems to be a really good energy today, and you get out what you put in. If you go along with it and give it your best, it'll be good energy for you as well. Mercury sextile Saturn, and we are still in the post-shadow to Mercury retrograde, but we're starting to get answers to things. We're starting to find out why things were so tricky. In my case, it has to do with pink paint. Everyone will sell you pink paint telling you it's non-toxic, and then it turns out it is toxic, so you've got to drive back to the shop. It's a blooming pest. That kind of thing, things that are a blooming pest but aren't going to kind of cause big problems or mess anything up. There's a lot of that about at the moment, but look at the kind of answers behind the confusion, because somewhere behind the confusion the answers are there. They always are. There's always a balancing factor to whatever's going on. So Mercury still in the post-shadow to retrograde, sextile Saturn, clarity, organisation, negotiating carefully, and being patient. If we're patient, we can bring matters to a good conclusion, and that's really strongly indicated today. Venus is conjunct Neptune. It's romantic, it's imaginative, artistic creativity is strong as well. Also artistic appreciation. You might really enjoy kind of looking at some art today and just imagining what it could mean to you, seeing the shapes in it. Not everyone can see them, but if we take the time and focus in and think carefully about it, we can see those things. Also a lot of compassion about today for the less fortunate, which is no bad thing in the world as it stands. Okay friends, thanks very much for watching. Keep it real, keep it Astro Truth. Give me a thumbs up if you've enjoyed it. If you haven't, you know what to do. Subscribe and tap the bell for more, and I'll be along again soon. Have a fantastic day, my friends. Goodbye.